Let's even talk power. And I know you're probably not a power technocrat or anything along those lines, but it's the one sector that I know that a lot of people have given President Jonathan credit for the reforms he's done there. It's been privatized for the first time, I think, even on the continent. It's something that nobody thought would happen. You know, steps have been taken to reform the sector. Power is one thing that can be fixed in one day, considering how dilapidated the equipment and the entire sector has been over 3-4 decades. Yeah. He's done something there. What is Buhari going to do differently there?
I don't know. They've said they are going to deregulate or decentralize the whole thing from generation to distribution. But as you said that former President Jonathan has done something in the power sector, but the end product, where is the end product?
He's not going to switch on the lights, is he?
No, he wouldn't. But if he's done a lot, the end product still is people want to see power in their houses. And if they don't, to the layman on the streets, he doesn't understand what you've done. He wants to see light, or he wants to see power in his house. And if that's not there, then Nigerians, whatever you have done is just down the drain. They don't really understand it. They want to see power. They want to switch on the light, they switch and they want to see light come on. And that's the most important thing. And if President Jonathan, like I said, they want to decentralize, if they can do that, privatize distribution and generation, and let Nigerians see more hours of power each day, I think it'll be good for them. But they have to be really, they have to hit the ground running. There's no dilly-dally, no giving excuses, and no telling us tales of how they got ate the yam.
One of the similarities you have to draw between President Jonathan and Buhari was that on both occasions when they were both taking office, they both gave promises of specific numbers of megawatts that would be attained by the end of every year. President Jonathan, unfortunately, didn't meet most of his. President Buhari has said the same thing. Yes. 5,000 at the end of so and so, 15,000 at so point. And a lot of people criticized him, even when he was running for office, that he never gave a lot of hows for a lot of things he promised. How are you going to do this? How do we hold him to that at the end of the day?
I think there are quite a few people who have kept the promises President Buhari made, and that is going to be the starting point. So you said you're going to do this. Have you done it? Where are you? And I think all Nigerians now should take all these promises. They should be published in papers, online, and on print media. And these are what we're going to hold President Buhari to, because you said you're going to do this. Have you done it? When are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? And things like that. And if changes are not seen, he's going to feel the pressure, because Nigerians have suffered for too long, and they really want to move from their sufferings and move to a better life. So, and Buhari knows that. He made those promises himself, so he needs to move quickly. How
much of a factor is his party going to be in all of this? Because we've seen him turn back governors who brought a list, I think, of ministers to him. But we know that the APC is such a massive party now with so many interests, without naming names. We know these people who are all around him. They were all at the Eagle Square during the inauguration, you know. Now, people are already getting restless. I mean, it's just been 48 hours, but there are certain things that people expected, like I said at the beginning of the show, that would have happened by now. There are certain appointments that don't need to be ratified by the National Assembly. Who your special advisor on the media is, your SSG. There are certain appointments that we thought he would have made by now. It's been 48 hours. Are we pushing for too much? Too quickly?
Politicians will always be politicians. You talked about the APC. And I think that's going to be his major issue, because there are lots of people within the APC who just wanted Jonathan out, and they have their own ulterior motives. They have their own self-interest. And I think he's going to have a major issue within the party. And I think I would like to cut him some slack. 48 hours. Let's give him tomorrow, Monday. See if he appoints anyone.
Because he did say he would have a minister's list in 7 days, I think. I think he mentioned something along those lines.
I can't remember him saying that, but I'll cut him to give him to Monday. The inauguration was on Friday. Let's give him to Monday, see what he does. But really, and that tells you the kind of pressure he'll be under, because Nigerians are already saying, okay, 48 hours, you haven't, who's your SSG, who's your this and that. And he needs to do that quickly, again, just to allay fears that, okay, we know what we're doing.
He needs to show that he's in control.
He needs to show that he's in control. But then I think first in his speech where he mentioned that he has moved the military command to Maiduguri, I think that was, in that I saw that, okay, yes, this is someone who means business. We're not going to dilly-dally with Boko Haram. We want to get this issue sorted once and for all. So in that way, I'm going to cut him slack a bit. But then it's not going to be for too long. Yes. If we in a week or 2 weeks, and we still see the sort of like issues that were affiliated with the Goodluck Jonathan administration in this President Buhari, then there will be really problems for him.
You mentioned moving the military command to Maiduguri, and it was one of the highlights, of course, of his speech. But since he was sworn in, there's been about 3 attacks, I think, in the northeastern part of Nigeria. Maiduguri, Yobe, I think, a mosque, a market. A number of people have already died, I think close to 30 or over 30. in the last 2 days.
Yes.
Almost as if Boko Haram is sending a message to him to say, we are still here and you can't do anything about it. That move, how soon is it going to happen? Has it happened? And is it really going to be effective?
I don't think it's happened yet, and it will be effective because I think the security chiefs will then have to move from their air-conditioned offices in Abuja and go to Maiduguri.
Air-conditioned what in Maiduguri? Yeah, go on.
And go to and be on ground in Maiduguri, see things for themselves. It's not about them being reported to, and the logistics and strategy is on ground. It makes things easier and quicker for them, and it will be effective. And again, it increases the morals of the men on ground, because if they know that their chief is right there with them in the same city or where they're fighting, it increases morale. And the president will have to pay regular visits, and again to help them, to encourage the guys on ground. And I think it's a very good move, brilliant move, I think.
Yeah. Before we move on now to other things that happened in the last week, what do you want to see from Buhari in the next 100 days?
I really don't like to put days, but I'd want to see him first of all appoint technocrats. More technocrats and less politicians in his cabinet. In the next 100 days, obviously, the ministers will have been appointed and things like that. I want to see him taking a strong stand against corruption. We don't want to start making excuses of
how does he send that kind of messages? Appointments of like the EFCC chairman or what? How would he send that corruption?
That would help. Appointing the EFCC chairman, putting someone who is a no-nonsense person, and making sure that anything he does or anything they say or plan to do, let's see what exactly these people are going to do. We don't want to, again, because corruption is the bane of development in Nigeria, and if you don't make that strong stand against corruption, everything's just going to go down the drain. I want to see that, first of all, in his appointment, because that will tell if this guy is serious or if he's not. We know he is, but your appointments have to show that you're doing some things right, and that would help. That would help to allay fears of Nigerians that, okay, this administration is going to be different.
Yeah. After inauguration, I think President Jonathan's honeymoon period lasted about 7 months. How long do you think his own will last?
I don't think Buhari has any honeymoon. I think his honeymoon period is probably over at this time, because Nigerians want change. Their lives have been shattered, especially people in the Northeast, and they want to see quick fixes and making sure that Boko Haram is defeated as soon as possible. The Chibok girls are still being abducted, as I said, 412 days. They want to see real moves to make sure that lives and security returns, and put Nigerians on one page, because for the past few years, Nigerians have been so diverse, and there's been a lot of division amongst Nigerians, North and South divide. I want to see him unite the country. I want to see President Buhari unite the country, and if all Nigerians are on the same page, especially about Boko Haram, we would have made a huge psychological step in defeating Boko Haram. But get the country together, and I hope it does that. We're all praying and hoping that this change happens.